Now, you are here today specifically. We asked you off the air if you could help out Allie.
Yep.
Because I told her, what did I say, Allie? I said, Dr. Sean's going to be able to help you out.
Yeah.
Because she seriously almost passed out here on the radio. Because she got so anxious and nervous
Sure.
doing something here on the radio. She like ran over there and like fell down on her seat. I was like, I am sweating so much. I'm so hot. I can't breathe. So what's the deal? Why is she freaking out so bad and getting all hot and bothered?
Yeah, here's the thing. I had a mentor of mine years ago always told me, know what you know and know what you don't know. And when you don't know something, where you're not super, super comfortable with it and you don't have an ownership of the knowledge that you're working with, all of a sudden that fight or flight mode kicks in and the brain starts going, oh my God, run, right? And so it wants to get away. And so to do that, to get away, it starts pumping blood. And all of a sudden it starts pumping it out to your extremities, right? Your legs, your feet, your arms, and it pumps it from the front of your brain to the back because that's where your primal instincts are to run or fight. Well, your thinking aspect is in the front of the brain. And so all of a sudden now you can't reason, you can't think, and then you get more nervous and it gets worse and worse and the body just flips out. Now your hypothalamus is the part of the brain that controls temperature regulation, but he's also the guy that's in charge of your senses. So your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, all those things that you smell, see, taste, touch, he's monitoring the world around you. And so if he gets overwhelmed, then all of a sudden he pulls the fire alarm. The next thing you know, you're like, I'm dying in here.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really cool things you can do that are pretty simple. Now you mentioned breathing when you and I were talking before. It's super important, right? Because when you slow your breathing rate, all of a sudden when you get nervous, what do? Right, you're panting like a dog, but when you slow it down, you start consciously regaining control of that mechanism inside. It slows down the blood flow, it calms the body, and it starts pushing it back to the thinking part of the brain away from the fight or flight. So one of the cool things you can do with breathing, it's pretty easy. You breathe in through your nose. That's a big one for this. Don't do your mouth if you can help it. Breathe in through your nose and count for as long as you can possibly breathe in. So if you start breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, say you only get to 4, then you've got to hold that breath for the same count that you inhaled, because it gives time for the oxygen to exchange with the stuff that's in the cells. Then you exhale through your mouth. You can do it that way. The same count that you inhaled. So it would be 4, 4, and 4. And what that does is it starts to regulate everything. It starts to get everything on a synchronization, starts to calm everything down, and it's giving the body time to bring that clean, good air in, which is fuel. It then allows for an exchange, and what gets pushed out of the cell can now be pushed out of the body when you exhale. So that's really good. 10 little easy breaths, and it's simple. Now I showed you that one where you shake your hands one time. That's an instant settle down. Instant, so you can teach her that one as well. But another thing you can do when the temperature goes skyrocket high, the hypothalamus has a connection to the skin and the temples. So all you have to do if your eyes are open during the day and you're all hot like that, you just sit there and start rubbing your temples. And about 60 seconds in, it will neutralize the temperature.
Oh.
I mean big time. And if you ever want to try it, only do it once. Go in your shower at home when it's too hot and sit there and rub your temples. And it'll make that water lukewarm. It'll neutralize that sucker in a heartbeat because it controls temperature regulation. So I use this all the time to break fevers in children. When they got a fever, just sit there and rub their temple, and the body will reset that mechanism and it'll reset the fever for them. So there's a lot of cool things you can do, but those are easy, quick fix things. But it still comes back to that knowledge base. When you're doing anything new, little kids are driving, my son's driving a car right now, right? You should see the way he holds onto that steering wheel. You think, my God, son, you're going to choke to death, right? He's got a hold of it, and he's nervous because he's not used to it. He has to program the brain to where it's just second nature. So for her, this is new, even though she's done it, right? But she's interning, so she's learning right now. There's a lot of new things. So own the pieces of this that you can, the stuff you really understand. Own those, and the other little things, fit them into the things you already understand.
Who did that sound